So today we have a very special guest, Sneha. She worked at Google. She has previously worked with Flipkart. She has huge experience in recruitment. I'm glad, Sneha, you said yes to come down to Beyond Interview series. And I'm damn sure this is going to benefit a lot of people in terms of understanding and get over the myth most of the time people have in terms of the recruitment. Can you just quickly help with your journey in the recruitment and past companies, basically?
Yeah, thank you so much, Chirag, for having me. Just to give you like an overview, I'm coming with about 6 years of experience. I have had a very lucky career trajectory where I got a chance to work with some solid product and service-based companies, and also cross paths with some great minds which has only contributed to my growth so far. So I'm looking forward to continuing the same journey as well.
What does a recruiter look into the resume when they are shortlisting, and what differentiate a fresher resume from an experience?
So I'll kind of narrow down to a couple of points which I think will answer like both halves of your question, right?
Yeah.
So when you look at someone who comes with a little bit of industry experience, it's very so what we look at in terms of, let's say, how we can measure the impact a profile has created in the organization. If it is from a contribution per se, like how have you added on or influenced to your company's goals as such. Let's say if you're looking from a contribution perspective, it can also be in a project where, whether you were involved right from creating or just helping evolving the product as well.
Mhm.
So those are some of the insights that we get while looking at a resume per se.
Mhm.
Um, but I also feel like resume is quite worded in terms of you're just writing a lot of things down, right?
Mhm.
So if your resume can also kind of help a recruiter or like an engineering team also who's looking
Mhm.
at your resume to have access to your other active platforms, let's say GitHub, Stack Overflow,
Mhm.
which not only, so your resume is talking about what you've done, but if your profile is also able to showcase what you have done, it's very
Mhm.
easy for us to draw parallel and also kind of resonate in terms of what you have written and what you have done. So that is something I would highly recommend for freshers or someone with experience to, kind of fall back onto your work and have a look at it as well, um, along with your resume.
So, in short, you are saying your resume is not your biography. Like, don't put all the shit in your resume.
Correct.
Only the important thing that showcase highlights who you are actually in terms of the professional work that you have done.
Right.
And as you said,
Right.
a couple of things which I personally prefer and like is like what kind of contribution that you are making, you should always put down in the resume, which helps in order to
Right.
identify either you are a team player, you are leading someone, or you are just getting your task board cleared. Right, that
Correct.
actually differentiate from that. Those are the really cool thing. So, like as you said, now what should a candidate do differently in order to get shortlisted for FANG?
I think you should constantly work on building your network.
Mhm.
Now, this can be if you're looking at just interacting with the existing employees or just keeping in touch with the talent acquisition team. If it is, if someone's coming from a fresher background, I would definitely recommend themselves to get like an industry mentor per se, who
Mhm.
can kind of paint the picture in terms of what is in store for you,
Mhm.
or the fact that you can come prepared on so and so aspects. So they probably are not going to be of help immediately, but they are
Mhm.
also someone you can fall back onto as a safety net because they are there to kind of give you an overview on how things work. Now, FANG, your dream company, whatever it is, whichever company you're targeting, follow them closely if that's what you're looking at as a place that you want to be. Be up to date with what they're working on, right? Or they're coming up with something new. Just be on par with them in terms of things. A lot of organizations are also now being very generous in terms of extending, let's say, some of their town hall invites,
Mhm.
or they're having conferences or workshops or conclaves,
Mhm.
which you can definitely be a part of.
Mhm.
In terms of just hearing from what the team does or what the organization is looking forward to doing. If it is in person, nothing like it.
Mhm.
Be on the floor and build the connection. It's easier for people to remember you, honestly, if
Yeah.
you're there. So it'll also give you like a wider, like a pool, right, to interact with,
Mhm.
whether you're looking at a leadership or whether you're looking at talent acquisition or some dream team that you have within the organization to be a part of. Um, so that is something I would definitely recommend. And if you're following an organization closely, understand their requirements and sharpen your skills. So definitely go back and work on some of the aspects that you see is like you're seeing it everywhere in the organization.
Correct.
So work on it, build on it, which will only improve your chances further.
I personally like one of thing, and I'm going to follow that proactively. As you said, having a personal one-to-one connect and going
Right.
into such conclave or workshop or such thing, which is especially happening in some of the organization, that gives a next edge. Because as you said, you have personal connects, you build personal
Right.
bonding, and when you seek for some help on the like professional network on LinkedIn, sometime in future, you have definitely a different edge because you have met a person, you have built that
Right.
connection and bonding. And definitely if you know about the team company, and when you are discussing with your engineering manager maybe, and you are talking about I know what this team does and how it works, it gives a next edge. Like engineering manager or the recruitment team need a person who is already aware of something. Like you don't have to start from zero. So as you
Right.
said, that's a cool, really cool. Now another shot, like is it possible to get an interview call for a person which is holding a bit less experience than what is listed in the job profile or the job description, basically?
So when we are looking at developing a job requirement, right, there is a certain rationale that we come with
Mhm.
in terms of why we are looking at certain people for this specific role, because certain attributes and skills sometimes develop with experience or with the fact that you've been in the industry. But like you just mentioned, if it's like a small window that we are looking at,
Mhm.
you can definitely shoot your shot. But if it's a fairly larger window that we are looking at, probably what you can do to kind of increase your chances of hearing back from the recruiter or from the company per se is to apply for multiple roles.
Mhm.
So look at roles that kind of pertain to what you're doing, which is more aligned to what you have done and which kind of fits the bill, right? Slightly a little better than what you were looking at. So that's one of the chances I feel that will increase your chance in terms of getting through if you're looking at least applying for more than 2 opportunities that's available.
Got it. Have you personally shortlisted anyone knowing this person is not fitting in the criteria in terms of experience, but that person is damn good? Like from profile, it seems like this is a person I need, right? Did it happen ever?
Sometimes you understand what the role requires, right?
Hmm.
And if you're able to see it on paper, there's like no harm in just giving a call and trying to find out how well this fits in. And of course, the platform is definitely open in case they are able to cut the bar in that case.
Got it. So basically, even if you are like you are a smart person and you are residing on the edge, like either just like ongoing, or you can say the edge for the senior role, or a edge where you are
Right.
just on the other side, maybe you can crack that very easily. You don't have to worry about the experience and sort of thing. Just focus on your skill set. That's a cool one. Candidate should start looking for a FANG or a dream product based company.
Um, the crowd that we kind of encounter right now, right? It's very different from something that I've noticed before. I don't really see, let's say, just a brand or the perks that a brand comes with as your driving factor in order to just look at an organization.
Mhm.
So they kind of deep dive into what is coming their way if they are part of the organization, right? So they look at opportunities, growth, general development, what is in store for them, the kind of people that they're getting an opportunity to interact with on a daily basis. It all boils down to what you're looking for from an organization.
Mhm.
And at any given point, if you feel something matches to what you're looking for,
Mhm.
I think you should definitely go ahead for it. There's no golden number that I can give in terms of dates or months that you need to kind of wait to be a part of any of these organizations. If it is something that you feel is would do justice to your career trajectory, I think you should go for it.
And personally, I can chip on, and from my experience,
Right.
like most of the time, people who target for this product based company or the FANG company, they start looking when they're in the notice period, and that most of the time
Right.
doesn't work because these companies take some time in order to process, go through your interview
Right.
process, and finally roll out the offer, background verification. Personally, it had taken a couple of months for me in order to complete this process. And if you are waiting,
Okay.
okay, I'm going to apply for such companies when I hold some offer and I'm in a notice period on a safer side. Dude, I'm not sure if it is going to work and if it worked for anyone. Like, what do you say on that?
Um, I personally did notice a few of them who line up specific organizations towards the end of it
Mhm,
because they feel they would be better prepared. But like you rightly mentioned, right, there is a timeline that we kind of have to stick to,
mhm,
and we may not be able to quickly work around things.
mhm.
So basically, a better planning in terms of how you want to take things forward would be beneficial, not just for them, but also the person on the other side.
Yeah, you don't have to rush. Like, you don't have to ask HR,
Right.
please schedule my interview because I have a joining date coming in 15 days. I want another offer. So that's good. So I think the final and the most important, any tips that you wanted to share with the folks in order to increase their chances of getting selected in product-based or FANG company?
Age-old classic tip that I have, that is just be interview ready. What I mean by this is look at upskilling, work on, probably getting some certification that you feel will add value to your profile or your skill set, and constantly work on, kind of familiarizing yourself with the problem statements that will come your way,
Mhm,
because there's a treasure trove of information out there in the market, especially in terms of how an organization works, right?
mhm,
Or how their interview process is, or how their rounds are, or what you need to cover in terms of topics. It's just all out there.
mhm,
So when you know you're aiming at something, probably start a little sooner to
mhm,
kind of build, because you never know when there's a requirement and when an opportunity will come knocking at your door.
mhm,
Make sure that the window uh, from which you have received the call till you taking the interview is slightly shorter.
mhm,
So try being prepared from that perspective. And if you're someone who's on the other side of the coin, who already got an opportunity to kind of interview with a specific company and did not cut the bar for reasons, um, definitely try going back to the recruiter and hearing back from them in terms of some constructive feedback.
mhm.
Basically, something that you can work on. Go back to the whiteboard, work on it. It'll only improve your chances the next time you're applying for the same.
And come back ready with the
Come
interview
back, ready.
interview ready next time. That makes sense.
Right.
Like, you should know why you got rejected so that you can work on that and you can come prepared, work on the weakness where you have lack some sort of, and you can crack the interview next time. I think, yeah,
Right.
this has definitely worked. Even for me, it had worked in past. Like, you can't be like hit the milestone in single shot sometime, right? You have to just keep on trying and you eventually make it happen.
Right.
So I think those are the damn cool advice that you have given today, and most of the viewers are going to benefit from that. So, Isneha, thanks a lot for coming down and sharing your vision from HR or recruitment perspective. And yeah, here we are.
Thank you so much, Chirag. Also, I really appreciate that you kind of moved from your forte, right? From a tech, you've kind of taken a whole different path, and you're helping your viewers. Like your other videos, I just hope this can also be of help to at least a couple of them.
Definitely.